Geno says a lot of things to the media about his team, about his players that are starting to rub certain people the wrong way. And it started to make me think about if Geno's coaching style is affecting Paige Bueckers and the trajectory of her career and has maybe halted her a little bit in becoming the best player that she can possibly become.
What occurs when a top athlete overreacts to their coach? After Paige Bueckers crossed the line, UConn's head coach Geno finally lost it, and everyone was blaming each other and drawing inferences. The timing couldn't be worse for Paige, but is this truly about bad behavior, or is there something else going on? There's a twist to this narrative that no one anticipated coming, with the WNBA draft approaching and Olivia Miles of Notre Dame taking center stage.
Paige Bueckers and the UConn Huskies front and center this season in women's basketball. Some fans are starting to question Geno Auriemma's coaching style and wondering if it's truly what's best for Paige.
Let's explore Billy's interactions with Coach Geno and Paige Bueckers. As you may know, Paige has always been the life of the party at UConn, whether it's making jokes during practice or creating TikTok videos. However, this time, things became quite serious. In his most recent interview, Coach Geno revealed a shocking revelation. Paige will not be practicing with the team, and man, you could tell he had been waiting for this moment because of the way he said it. With that small smile on his face, it was obvious that this wasn't just about discipline, but rather something more profound that had been simmering for some time. This is when the exciting part begins. While everyone is discussing Paige's practice suspension, she is actually sidelined due to a lower body injury. Yes, you heard correctly. Coach Geno is maintaining a low profile by stating that she'll return in a week, but this entire issue has fans and experts baffled. Consider it. There is more to this story than just a coach being soft on his star player. Let's take a look back at Paige's journey at UConn. When she first stepped onto that court, everyone knew they were watching something special. She wasn't just another talented player. Her court vision and basketball IQ were different, and the way she could read the game was like watching a veteran in a freshman's body. Not to mention her infectious smile, the way she could light up a room, and the way she improved everyone around her were what made her more than just a basketball player. Every action you make is scrutinized by everyone while you're at the top, and every slip-up becomes the subject of headlines. Since day one, Paige has had to cope with this pressure and the expectations. Being the public face of women's college basketball and dealing with the constant scrutiny are too much for anyone, much less a college student. And then there's social media. Paige has always been active on platforms like TikTok, and it's part of who she is, part of what makes her relatable to fans, but sometimes that playful nature can rub people the wrong way, especially the old-school basketball folks who believe in keeping everything serious and traditional. That's where Coach Geno comes in. He's old school, no doubt about it. He's been around long enough to see how the game has changed, how social media has transformed the way athletes interact with fans, and while he's adapted to some extent, there's still that part of him that believes ballets in doing things the traditional way. The dynamic between Paige and Geno has always been interesting to watch. It's like a father-daughter relationship. In many ways, he's tough on her because he sees her potential, because he knows what she's capable of, and she pushes back, sometimes tests the boundaries just like any young person would. But this latest incident, it's different. The timing is what makes it so crucial. We're talking about the heart of the season. Here, every game matters, every practice counts. Throughout her college career, Paige has experienced her share of setbacks. Each time, she has recovered more resiliently, but each injury has also raised concerns about her durability. UConn is battling for position in an attempt to maintain their status as one of the top programs in women's college basketball, and now their star player is sidelined. In addition to examining her statistics, NBA scouts are also considering her capacity to maintain her health in order to manage the demanding professional schedule. Speaking of statistics, let's take a moment to discuss numbers. Prior to this incident, Paige was having one of her best seasons, but 20 points per game isn't just good. Its performance is at an outstanding level. The UConn squad has centered their entire offensive scheme around Paige's skills, and her 40% three-point shooting indicates that she is not just scoring but also doing it well. Her 4 assists per game also don't fully capture how she improves her teammates. The team must adapt now that she is on the sidelines because her court vision, her ability to create shots for others, and her clutch performances in crucial moments aren't things you can replace overnight. This situation has also sparked a larger discussion about athlete behavior and team discipline in the social media age, specifically where to draw the line between letting players' self-expression and upholding team discipline. How can one strike a balance between team culture and individual personality? These are issues that all programs, not just UConn, are facing, and it has been interesting to see how the fans have responded on social media. Some are supporting Coach Geno, arguing that team rules and the IPL should apply to all players, whether or not they are star players, while others are supporting Paige, arguing that she should be free to be herself and that her personality is what makes her unique. However, many people are missing something important. Given that other players must step up and can't rely on Paige to save them when things get tough, this could actually be a blessing in disguise for UConn. It could make the team stronger in the long run by making them more resilient and versatile, and it might be just what Paige needs right now. Sometimes being forced to watch from the sidelines can give you a fresh perspective and rekindle your desire to compete. Take a moment to ponder and remember why you fell in love with the game in the first place. The incident's timing has also drawn attention to the WNBA draft, and team officials and scouts are closely monitoring Paige's response to the matter. They are interested in her mental toughness and capacity to overcome hardship, not only her physical recuperation. Her reaction to decisions on coaching while Paige is coping with this setback at UConn. Let's now discuss how the entire situation is impacting women's college basketball in general. While everyone has been focused on the drama at UConn, Olivia Miles at Notre Dame is making some serious noise. By this, I mean that she is practically shouting from the rooftops with her performance. Miles is not only playing well, but she is also redefining what we expect from a point guard. Her 48% three-point shooting is not just good, it's elite-level shooting. However, it's more than just the numbers. It's the way she controls the game, the confidence she plays with, and the leadership she exhibits on the court. Let's examine what this means for both players. For years, everyone assumed Paige would be the top pick and go straight from the UConn to the WNBA, continuing to be the face of women's basketball. However, sports have a funny way of surprising you. Scouts are now considering the durability of the entire package rather than just the stats. While Paige is currently out, Miles is displaying their leadership advantage, which both players possess in spades. Market appeals sure Paige has the social media following, but Miles is proving that winning games and playing stellar basketball creates its own kind of appeal. And let's talk about Notre Dame for a minute. They're not just winning, they're dominating. Their system seems to be clicking on all cylinders, and Miles is at the center of it all. 7 assists per game show. She's not just scoring, she's making everyone around her better. That's what pro teams are. Looking for the contrast between UConn and Notre Dame seasons is becoming more evident with each passing game, while UConn is dealing with this internal drama and trying to figure out how to play. Without their star, Notre Dame is showcasing a well-oiled machine. They're proving that great basketball isn't just about having one superstar, it's about having a complete team that works together. This situation has also sparked some interesting conversations about coaching styles. Coach Geno's old school approach is being compared to Notre Dame's more modern system, while some are doubting whether his rigorous disciplinary methods are still effective in today's game. Others contend that his record speaks for itself and that he has produced some of the greatest players in women's basketball history. When she returns, the pressure will be intense, and every move and performance will be examined. People will be looking for signs of rust, attitude, or anything else that could affect her draft stock, and while she's juggling all that, she'll be playing her game without that kind of scrutiny. However, some WNBA scouts are suggesting that overcoming adversity and learning to cope with setbacks may actually benefit Paige in the long run. Realizing the value of team discipline, these are all vital lessons for a professional athlete, and some even argue that her performance may be more significant than her numbers. The timing of all of this is quite important. Conference play is heating up, tournament seeding is up for grabs, and every game counts more than the last as the college basketball season approaches its most crucial phase. When Notre Dame tries to build on their momentum, UConn must figure out how to weather this storm. When considering the wider effects on women's basketball, this story has actually increased interest in the game, drawing in viewers who might not often watch college basketball to see how it unfolds. The rivalry between UConn and Notre Dame has evolved to include two distinct strategies for the game rather than just two outstanding programs. Two distinct playing philosophies and two distinct routes to achievement. Although Paige has been largely silent online since this all began, the social media component of this narrative is also noteworthy. There are a ton of thoughts and predictions about basketball on Twitter. Everyone has an opinion about Coach Geno's choices regarding the future of women's basketball. Do you recall the early comparisons between Paige and some of the greatest players of all time? Well, now people are beginning to draw similar comparisons for Miles. They're mentioning how her scoring ability reminds them of Diana Taurasi and how her court vision is similar to Sue Bird. These aren't only arbitrary comparisons, they're from experts in the game. What about the other players at UConn? They're in a unique situation, and this is their opportunity to demonstrate that they're more than just Paige's supporting ensemble. As we approach March Madness, this story will only get bigger because both UConn and Notre Dame are likely to be high seeds, and there's a real chance they could meet in the tournament. Some of them are stepping up in big ways, showcasing skills that may not have received as much attention before. It's like when the star of a TV show takes a break, and all of a sudden you realize how talented the rest of the cast is. High school players are watching all of this unfold and taking notes. Some may be drawn to the Notre Dame system because of how Miles has developed there, while others may appreciate Coach Geno's tough love style, knowing it's prepared so many players for professional success. Miles versus Paige against Notre Dame. UConn, the old versus the modern school. It would be more than simply a game. It would be a turning point in women's college basketball, with an ever-increasing influence on the WNBA draft. Teams at the top of the selection are most likely analyzing their boards and weighing all available options before deciding whether to select the guy who has been consistently strong or the established star who has had some hiccups but always appears to recover. The most intriguing aspect of this whole situation is probably how it reflects the evolution of women's basketball. We're witnessing a sport that is evolving and becoming more complex. It's not just about who scores the most points or wins the most games anymore. It's about personality, social media presence, leadership styles, and the ability to handle pressure both on and off the court. If you want to stay up to date on all the drama in college basketball, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. Rising is showing improvement with each game, and it's about marketability, durability, and potential. Give it a like. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section below if you believe Paige will return stronger than before.